Are the radical left and centre-right working together? This recording is on a topic that will expand on my previous Space Amish recording by bringing in some insights from Ted Kaczynski, better known as the Unabomber, as well as a little bit of contextualisation and interpolation of my own. For those of you who don't know Uncle Ted, aka the Unabomber, and he's not my uncle, it's just an internet nickname. He was a brilliant but troubled mathematician who dropped out of academic life to live in the woods and wage a one-man terrorist war against computers. Now, I don't endorse sending people bombs in the mail, but his criticisms of modern technology are well worth considering and not to be taken lightly by technology types such as myself. So, in his essay, The System's Neatest Trick, he describes how essentially every organisation, or I should back up, his big picture theory is that every organisation that us humans make, and since the invention of modern factories, and in particular computer automation, rather than being for human well-being, ultimately winds up serving the purpose of creating more machines regardless of what is good for humans. Now, humans are still necessary to maintain what he calls the system being the replication of machines, but us humans are only good within the system insofar as we keep it running. We have basically become the reproductive organs of robots. So, in his essay, The System's Neatest Trick, he describes how a lot of us feel frustrated with the way that our institutions are not really serving humanity. Our governments, our corporations, labour unions for that matter, churches. But most of us aren't picking up on the deep problem that Kaczynski picked up on. And interestingly, and he doesn't propose that this is a conspiracy, just that it's how things have turned out, activist causes that serve the reproduction of machines are always the ones that become popular. And in particular, he highlights anti-racism and feminism. Now, he doesn't say that racism in itself is a good thing. However, the domination of the entire world by factory systems, that requires homogenization of all people, removing off any real substantive cultural differences, getting rid of everyone's real culture, maybe just leaving a little superficial appearance of cultural difference, choice of food, whether you watch anime or Marvel movies, nonsense like that. So ultimately, the people who think that they're fighting racism are ultimately fighting for homogenization of all cultures, which is the destruction of all cultures. Likewise, feminism in practice has pushed women into working alongside men, serving the needs of producing more machines. So that's your radical left. That's the bits of the radical left that always find success are the parts that serve the system. And then to the centre right, you have two phenomenons going on. One is some loudmouth types, such as, for instance, Ben Shapiro, giving the radical left the illusion of meaningful opposition. Ultimately, the radical left are actually creating the next version, the upgrade to the system that they think they're fighting. But to keep them energized, they need some windmills to attack, such as Don Quixote. Or try to call back the image of Don Quixote fighting windmills. The other purpose that the centre-right serve is their obsession with following the rules without actually really looking deeply at whether the rules are any good. So because that's the other part of what the system needs, is homogenise people, but it also needs them to be docile, and that's the job of the centre-right, is to keep everyone policed, that we can't do anything too radical. So I haven't got firm conclusions in this recording, just that we should be careful to always question the political choices that are presented to us, because we want to, or at least if you're anything like me, you don't want to be going into the future as if the future were a railway track where you can't veer off and choose another direction. Once again, I don't think Kaczynski was absolutely crazy in how he tried preventing the machine dominance of humans. This machine dominance of humans enforced by humans, where it just all seemed like a good idea at the time, but it made us miserable and it made us unhealthy. But yeah, I mean, ideally I want the space armor's future. I want to have my computer and a bit of internet to be able to coordinate with other specialists across long distances, but also have the vegetable patch to fall back on, to have some cows and sheep of my own and chickens. Got the chickens. Need to get cattle again. So that worst comes to worst, I can always fall back on what humans have always done. I'm not at that point right now, and honestly, I'm pretty basement dwelling loser type, but there we go. I highly recommend the Systems Leaders Trick essay, reading it for yourself. You can find it online via websites such as the Anarchist Library. Because I'm only really in this recording talking about some of its implications, not even its main point. Anyway, that's it for today. Ryan McCoskrie, over and out.